Mary with our April book nook. So I pulled some new and interesting titles to share with you today. Whoop, hold on, they're sliding right out of my lap. Apologies. The first one is titled Heat Wave. This is by Lauren Redness, which I think is very interesting since there's a lot of red in this story. The little synopsis says, on the hottest day of the year in a great big city, on a planet that keeps getting warmer and warmer, a boy and his dog visit the beach, hoping for a breath of wind, a drop of rain, some relief from the scorching, baking, record-breaking heat wave. And I haven't quite exactly put my finger on it, but there's something about this book that I really like. Maybe it's the disappointment on this page that reads, game canceled. Game canceled. It is too hot. But then the clouds roll in. And finally, we see a different color. Instead of just red and shades of gray, there's some blue. So, I had never really heard of Lauren Redness before, but it says that she's an author, artist, and recipient of a MacArthur Foundation Genius Grant. She has written books for adults, including Radioactive, which was a finalist for the National Book Award, and Thunder and Lightning, winner of the P&E.O. Wilson Literary Science Writing Award, and then some other books. So I look forward to seeing more from Lauren Redness. Being here in the South, it is incredibly hot and incredibly humid, and I'm sure a lot of us will be able to relate to this title. It's also another title, big on illustrations, sparse on text, but it's a great book to also explore color and the feelings that different colors elicit and the things that we use different colors to represent. And our summer reading theme this year is Color Our World. So this book might be just perfect. The next book is titled Home is a Wish. One day we leave sounds, smells, feelings, words, and memories behind, and home becomes a wish. Home becomes a wish when we move. When the new place isn't the same, everything might be different. The sounds, the smells, the people, the weather. Home, though, can be a wish that comes true. This book is by Julia, who has done other books like Let's Do Everything and Nothing, Luminous, Living Things That Light Up the Night, and picture books including I Dream of Popo, I'm an American. Those are ones that she illustrated, those last two. This book is also got a lot of blue in it. I'm really paying attention to colors, and I didn't intend to pull a couple of books that were so color evocative, but I'm going to be reading this for a future book nook. Not book nook, cozy story time, so look for that. I also wanted to show you guys that we have been ordering a series of books called Mindful Monsters to help promote social emotional learning and awareness. This one is Albus, Anger in the Argument, and this one is Suki, Sadness Has to Say Goodbye. Both of these are written by Rebecca Phillips Bartlett, and you can find them in our storybook section. They are ebooks. Look here, Suki is in the same book with Albus. So this is definitely a group of friends experiencing different emotions and learning how to deal with them. Because like on this page, Albus does not just feel sad. Albus is starting to feel angry. Look at that fire. Oh my goodness. He can feel that anger bubbling up inside him like a volcano that's about to go bang. Oh my word. So there are lots of strategies in the back for acknowledging and coping with and processing our feelings. Albus here is breathing in and out, and looks like there's some hand tracing that happens. They're talking about and thinking about their feelings. And then it's very similar in Suki's sadness. I love how at the end, Suki's top tips are back here. Talking to a tetragona about your feelings, practice saying goodbye or having a goodbye routine, and thinking about the next exciting hello. So if you're looking for some books on processing big emotions, you might check out the Mindful Monster series here at the library. The next book is a book that I learned about when we used it in our Ola story time. I think it was last month. Sana Sana Kalita Dorana. And the story and art are by C. Reyes. I think it's Chitali Reyes. And I just adored this book. It is about a little girl who gets a boo-boo pretending to be a great wrestler. So I love the exploration of wrestling culture. And I love the love that is expressed repeatedly throughout the book by the repetition of Sana Sana Kalita Dorana, Si no sana hoy, sanara mañana. This is just a precious story that is wonderful for bilingual speakers, Spanish speakers, English speakers. It's just a great story. There's a little talk about masks that you can make, and if you go, I believe, to the author or the publisher's website, you can print off a paper version of this wrestling mask and make one for yourself with the book. And our last book I have to share today is Haiku Kaiju Achu. So haiku and pictures are by George McClements, and this is very much, the artwork in here is inspired by graphic or comic book storytelling, that sequential visual storytelling. So if you like kaiju and if you like haikus, you're gonna love this book. It's about a sweet kaiju who has the sniffles and goes out into the world to get some help. But of course, this accidentally stomps on part of the city. And then there's a boy at work with his dad. The dad is what's it called? Dad works at Kaiju Central, where the headquarters where they monitor and have a warning system to contain kaijus. And turns out this little dude right here speaks kaiju and helps figure out that the kaiju isn't trying to destroy the city. The kaiju just needs some help because they're sick. And it doesn't take long before kaiju feels better. Plus, he's made a friend. So you can just purely enjoy this story on like the kaiju sweet story level. But if you are also learning about haikus and syllables and poetry and words, also a fun book to explore. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this book nook. I hope some of these titles are interesting and maybe you'll borrow them from your local library. I'll see you next time.